Testing, test, test. Testing, testing.
soon as I plug you in, I get it too.
Testing, testing.
Test, test.
Hello. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The coach, Chris Harrison, to my right, Angie Gregory on the camera to my left, as we get ready for this titanic matchup. We're going to break for the anthem, and we'll be right back. We are back live from Oceanside Collegiate Academy at the Reef in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina for this titanic matchup, and it is almost time to get it on. Bolles comes up from Jacksonville, ranked Max Preps number 17 in the country, to take on our Land Sharks, who are winners of 7 straight and riding high off of a Florida trip and 4 victories in 4 contests last week. And, Coach, we are in for a dandy. They had this circled on the calendar. It's a bit of unfinished business for our boys from last year. What are your thoughts?
You know, the way we talk, Tony, they've got every game circled on the calendar. So, but, yeah, this is a big one. This team came into town yesterday, played Wando across the street, took them to triple overtime for a 1-goal win. So we need to set the tone here early and hopefully send Bolles back with a 1-1 record from here in Mount Pleasant.
Well, I certainly hope so, and our boys are excited. And you're right. I do talk about the circled on the calendar, right? We have our rivalry games. We're going to say it again on Friday with Christchurch.
Definitely, because that should be circled on the calendar.
And it should be. It's a team we play every year. But this Bolles team last year, we were, I believe it was a 1-1 or a 1-0 game at the half last year, and then we just sold the second half. And this is a great team. They came in here last year and they were number 8 or something like that. And, we took it to them in the first half, and then we kind of petered out. Well, this Oceanside team is not that team.
Well, let's believe that it's not based on this body of work in these last 7 games for sure. I do believe it's a different team right now. It's my understanding we are going to be a little light today. We have some injuries that have caught up with our defense. Number 1, Andy Jones. Sorry, everyone, bear with us. Okay, never mind. I guess we were told we had no sound, but apparently we do have sound.
All right, that's good. Sound is good, and as we approach the face-off dot, so you were saying about the injuries, Coach.
Yeah, so we're down Andy Jones tonight. Apparently a small little injury at practice is going to keep him out of the game today. It's a big loss for the Oceanside defense, but this is next man up here at the Reef. C.J. Johnson's going to be called on tonight to fill in that void, and we're going to probably see a lot more of Logan Finley tonight as well. I
would think so. And look, these kids have been baptized by fire. We talk about the valuable minutes that the youngsters have played throughout this season, and this is where it's going to pay off, because this is, like I said, this is a big game. It's a statement game for Oceanside. Bolles wants to maintain their dominance in their trips to South Carolina. We are underway, and the Clamp comes away with the first face-off victory, pushes it into the zone, and he winds, fires, and it is 1-0 Land Sharks. The Clamp unassisted, comes off the dot, and talk about making a statement.
I don't think you could script a start better than that, Tony. We just found out that Cole has already in his young career 100 face-off wins, and that was probably, 104 or whatever, and he takes it down to score. What a great start for the Land Sharks.
Unassisted for Cole the Clamp. He is looking good. He's going to line up, and he gets it off of the I'm trying to think which fellow was the face-off specialist there. That's number 5, and that's Greer, and that is a high point commit as a junior that our man Cole just took to task. So Bolles is going to get a free in here.
It's my understanding, Tony, they have 2 guys at the circle that can do the job, and they're not afraid to use them. So we'll see how Bolles rotates their Fogos tonight. There's an errant pass.
Costly mistake for the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs are struggling here early. I'm working up in the red there.
Yeah, I got you.
You got to dial me down just a little bit.
Tony gets a little excited. We got him.
You're in the red
I'm in the red too,
Yeah,
so I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah, we're usually 4 and 5 on those. Sorry, folks, we're dialing in the equipment here as Carter Gregory makes his first run into the zone off to Jackson Hyman. The trigger trots on. Titus the trigger. Gillum, he goes, makes a move on number 8, and as we're welcoming in the audience from Jacksonville, we just posted the link to Julia McClellan, the team mom. Apparently she's part of the heartbeat that makes that team hum, and we know how valuable team moms are here. Carter Gregory from the top. He's working it. He's up against number 20 there, Jimmy Hunt. Jimmy's giving him a tough way to go. Carter gets a shot on goal, and it stumbles in. Gets past Will Martell, number 16, the goaltender, and the Land Sharks are out hot, Coach.
I think Martell was trying to play that and maybe hit the ball out of the air into the goal, although it could have got a little backspin bounce as well. But 2-0 lead, nothing to shake a stick at. Nice rip by Gregory. And we are 10 minutes, 51 seconds left in the first with a 2-goal lead.
If anybody out there can give us a little text message to myself or Chris, let us know how we're coming across. We were battling a little feedback in the headsets. So we're trying to make sure that the audio is dialed in and that my excitement isn't crackling the speakers of your television set.
Yeah, we don't want to break anyone's TV at home.
We're learning about quality control. The Clamp back on the dot. Peanut Seaton over here. AJ Zarzak on the far side. The Clamp wins it clean, pops it up, and he is feeling it.
Cole
Bradford.
Very composed in there tonight. Great to see.
Special shout out to his father. There's AJ Zarzak is looking wide spars, and he finds the bottom of the net. 3 shots, 3 goals for this Land Shark team, and it is all Oceanside right now. A.J. Zarzaka takes the feed from Cole the Clamp and brings it home.
Just turn and fire right there by A.J. Great little goal. Not sure that the goalie was quite expecting that shot, and we already have a timeout out of the Bolles Dogs from their side. They're going to go regroup.
10:35, and this Land Shark team and this Land Shark crowd is fired up, and we are ready to go. What an outstanding effort. I mean, I got to say, Coach, I didn't see this. I didn't have this on my bingo card for first quarter action.
No. 3 goals within the first 2 minutes, certainly not. When you look at last night's game, that was an 8-7 slugfest right across the street. So already, coming close to totaling half the goals that Wando had against this team last night. Again, I don't think it's anything to get super excited about, but certainly things look like they're rolling right now, and we want to keep that momentum.
Quick note, Chris, we just got what is equivalent to the live stream YOLO box Good Housekeeping seal of approval.
Okay.
Dion Welsh chimes in. You guys sound perfect.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Dion, for checking us out. And what a start we've got. We've got a goal by the Clamp, a goal by Carter Gregory. Who had the second goal? It was Carter, right?
Carter.
Yeah, so Carter Gregory and a goal by A.J. Zarzaka. Our stat man or stat family, Chris Gregory, got us some interesting stats. We'll share those with you later as A.J. builds on his stat. He actually has a pretty unique one that Chris shared with me, and I'm sorry I can't remember it.
Yeah, well, that's a good one, and I do have it recorded behind us, and we'll talk more about that as this game goes on.
Yeah, I need it written down. I can't subscribe to that. And okay, there's a face-off win by Bolles, driving in number 5. That's Greer Brewer. And there's a bouncer in front of Gavin. Not sure he saw it, so I was glad it was wide.
Nice job by CJ picking that out of the air and not worrying about trying to back it up. Let's just get it now and go.
CJ stepping up, and the youngster decides, he says, look, I'm happy to have it, but I'm going to dish it off to AJ at midfield. AJ Zarzaka wheels it in over to Jackson Hyman, winds it over to Carter Gregory. You wonder if this pace is sustainable the way it's been a scoring pinball machine here. You got to think that the Bolles coaches and team are going to settle here. I mean, this is a powerful team. They've been through big games before. So the trigger up top, he comes in, takes a stab at it, doesn't like what he sees, dishes it off to Ian Long, the freshman, hasn't seen the ball yet. We haven't seen that this deep into a game yet this year.
Tony, I noticed something just watching the game. After that Ian Long goal,
scores. We're shooting the breeze. Ian's shooting the ball, Coach. Goodness
what a
gracious.
Goal. And that's Ian Long adding to his freshman getting ever closer to his freshman record on points for this team, which is incredible. I was going to say, Tony, is thinking that we were going to slow things down a little bit. We have a return tonight, a return to the ring. Number 22, the blue cleats, back on the field tonight.
Oh.
He was just out there. He's still out there now. Brody Hollingsworth, the Broadman, is back.
And how good does that feel for his family on his father's birthday? Happy birthday, Jamie Hollingsworth.
Jamie, wherever you're at.
Happy birthday. I saw him. Jamie is probably at some obscure part of the field where he tends to watch from. But happy birthday. And Broman Brody Hollingsworth, the senior. And people don't realize what a heartbeat he is on this team as the boys wrestle for it at the dot. Battle of the number 7s. And Cole the Clamp comes away with it. Brody in his centurion stance next to the net. So good to see the blue cleats out there. Can't say enough about that. So he's going to check off.
And we already see Bolles going with the change at the faceoff dot there on that series. Cole doing a good job winning it. We'll see how that continues to unfold throughout this game. As Bolles works on their clear. Peanut Seaton putting the hard check on number 14.
And there's the head of a stick comes off. Peanut ate the stick.
Broke the stick in half, it looks like.
Goodness gracious, he just shatters it. Carter Gregory's coming in hot, and he goes high. And that's another goal for Carter Gregory. And it is all Oceanside, and AJ almost levels Carter on the body slam there. I don't even know what you call that, the jump 5. So that is 5-0. Oceanside Collegiate at the 8:50 mark in the first quarter here.
Tony, I know there's people close in behind us. I'm not saying this to be rude, but some of the Bolles fans kind of standing here with mouths ajar. I don't think kind of expecting us to come out like this. And I have to say, there's 2 dads and 2 announcers here maybe not expecting us to come out
That's
like this.
right. So, I mean, we are the other side of that coin, and we didn't particularly have this on our bingo card. I mean, I thought we were going to be in for a very tight contest. And look, there's a lot of lacrosse yet to be played.
A ton of lacrosse. But we're still 8:40 left in the first.
The emotion and the passion out of this Oceanside team is at a fever pitch. Is it sustainable? I think so from what we've seen out of this team thus far.
Well, we're looking to see our first sustained offensive pressure from Bolles here in their zone. We'll see what they make of it. They've got their full complement on the field at this point.
Gavin Harrison between the pipes, your boy. He's hasn't seen much action, 1 or 2 shots thus far, and Bolles is struggling to put to just gather the ball in. So their 66 runs over there, tries to get around AJ, nothing doing. So like you said, they're putting their sustained offense together. There's a switch and a pick out to number 13 here, big rip, and he gets the 5-hole on Gavin Harrison there. So that was number 13. That's Preston Hager. Bolles, as we welcome the Bolles viewing audience come in. Again, we're a couple of Oceanside dads. We love doing this, myself and Coach Chris, Angie Gregory on the camera. So early in the game, it's going to be a lot of number this and number that. We'll get better with your boys' names as the telecast goes on, and by the end, you'll think that we're calling it for your team. We try and stay objective. Obviously, we're excited for our Oceanside Land Sharks, but at the end of the day, this is all about the kids on both teams and their bright futures in this sport.
So Hager with a pretty open shot there. Thomas got caught. AJ was in a pick. Thomas had to cover 2, had to walk away from Hager, and Hager had those hands free. So we'll see what happens here on this face-off.
There's another face-off won by the Dogs, and the Dogs are running down. Jackson Hyman gives chase. There's a feed over to 17, inside to 13, and 2 quick goals by the Bulldogs. And Oceanside has, as we've dominated the dot, we've dominated the score, and they're 2 straight face-offs that we've given up after they make the change. And we've got 2 quick goals. So let's not anybody get excited to think this thing's over early.
And that's how the pace of this game can change real quick, Tony. So there you go. Almost under a minute from when we first started talking at 5-0. We find ourselves at 5-2 now.
5-2, still a commanding lead for the Land Sharks, but 2 back-to-back unanswered goals. This Bolles team is talented. There's a reason they're ranked where they are. They are not going to go away. The Land Sharks have to keep bringing it, and we've got to get possessions. That's the 3rd straight possession. Different face-off guy, number 5, Greer Bray. That's the High Point commit. He seems to have his situation rectified, and we talk about the technicians that these face-off guys, these Fogos have, and once the way they tune it as the game goes on.
Yeah, because it's like anything in life. Everyone's different, so they start to key in on who they're against and start to learn little tricks and adjustments.
Hager pushes to Doyle, pushes to Hunt, and Cole Hunt's got the ball now, number 66, and he's got big Sawyer Arnold. He takes a shove from him. Referee reaching for the flag, doesn't pull it.
It's always that 3rd one that catches up to
Right.
Sawyer. He held back, which was good. There's a good tip by Peanut.
Tip by Peanut. Excellent work. Thomas the pickpocket working. Can't come away with it. That's rare. Silas Gillum out there working. And he almost gets turned but recovers. Number 17's out there. Jack Cox makes a big rip. Cox is going to Fairfield. He's the Fairfield commit. Big boy.
Yeah, tall boy definitely makes Reese maybe look a little small.
Yeah, he's staring eye to eye with Sawyer Arnold, and that's a task. Here comes 66. That's Cole Hunt.
Another tip by Peanut. Great job with the stick in the air.
Hager comes out to the alley with it, pushes it back to Cole Hunt. Hunt behind the net. He's got Peanut seating all over him. Peanut goes for the can opener. That patented Peanut move almost gets a trip there. Referee reached for the flag, didn't pull it. He didn't fall down. Over to number 9, Jake Kearns. Jake's I can't read my own writing. He's committed somewhere, but I can't read what it was. Up top to number 9, Kearns. Kearns makes a bouncer. Gavin sees it the whole way, catches that tough ball spinning off the turf, and we're going to run our first clear of the game here, Coach, which has been so good for us. Here comes the ride. Pushes it out to Reese. We're having a little trouble gathering it. He takes the half line. The referee starts swinging his arm, counting down for the touch. We still don't have a touch. There it is. Silas Gillum brings it in. Reese seems to struggle with that from time to time.
Well, he had to stop a bounce pass there, which, obviously with our first clear and not having our midi there in the middle, I think Gavin kind of tried to get it in there easy and ended up bouncing it. But no harm, no foul.
Right. The established offense comes on the field. Sorry, Coach.
No, go.
The trigger comes in. Caden Costa's out there. Silas Gillum, 22, the double deuce. Broman Hollingsworth out there. Got a little tongue-tied. I was so excited. Carter Gregory spins down. He's on a knee. He's up. The ball's up. There's a big check and a timeout. Tom Harris rescues the offense with a timely timeout. Wow. We got to take a breath, Coach.
Yeah. Let's skip the sponsors for now because we need a breath there.
We're going to need a breath there, so I'm going to get a little sip of water here. What an absolute blistering pace this game is. 5-2, Oceanside over Bolles early on in the game. At 5:13 left to go in the first quarter. Each team has taken a timeout, so they both have one left for the half. Good crowd has built. The Bolles group travels well. Looks like a lot of parents and family have checked in. The Oceanside team is out in force.
So we got CP Swisher checking in. He goes, "Nice work, fellas. As soon as I logged on, Bolles scores 2. I'm out."
All right, Swish.
Thanks, Swish. Appreciate when we were here.
For those that don't know, Chris Swisher is our board chair here at Oceanside, and he is the voice of Oceanside and Clemson rugby. Both his boys, Tucker Swisher plays rugby for Clemson now, and Tanner's on his way out there. After this year, the senior Tanner Swisher, is headed to Clemson next year, and he'll play rugby with his big brother. So that's going to be a big thrill for Swish to have both boys out on the field there. So we're headed back to live action here as the teams kind of gather themselves and get back to business. Now, my understanding is this fella number. Can't see what number he's wearing. 14, it looks like. And that's a big dog for them, Max Coulter. And that is a stout young man. Magic Zanone over with it. Over to Jackson Hyman. Over to Carter Gregory. The bro man, Brody Hollingsworth, lurking behind the net. in his office where he's been so successful over the years. Back to Magic, green cleats, over to the trigger. Ian Long brings it back around, gets it up top to Carter. Carter wheels it inside to Jackson Hyman. Jackson makes a move, can't get past the stick. And then he feeds it in front, Ian, and with a big drive. And the goaltender was up to the task. Outstanding save by number 16, Will Martell, in the cage for the Bulldogs.
What a well-executed play, Tony, and what a great stop by that goalie there. Nice to see Oceanside moving the ball like that.
Yeah,
we're going to have a check on the goalie's equipment after that save.
Yeah, make sure his head's screwed on right. That thing was smoking in there. Ian put a lot of heat on it. So it's going to be Magic Zanone bringing it in from the baseline. He's up against number 19. That's Luke Stenson. Hands him off. There's Carter Gregory comes around. He's got a big pull on him. Does the turnaround and gets home. A hat trick in the first quarter, if my stats are right, Marina. I get the thumbs up from Marina Harrison on the stats. Hat trick in the first quarter. Carter's already working on a sombrero.
Did Carter have his Dayquil today, Angie? No Dayquil.
No. This kid's sinuses are clear and his shot's even better.
Well, that's great.
6-2. 6-2. Oceanside over Bolles, 4:23 on a hot, sticky day with a little bit of breeze. It was in the 80s today.
I think we're lucky we have this partly cloudiness right now, or it'd be another 5 or 6 degrees. So
certainly for the telecast and the glare of the camera. I mean, we're pretty happy for a couple of reasons, right? The clamp duking it out, and he comes away with it, beats number 7. That's Cooper Matson. And the clamp goes all the way in and bounces one.
Loving seeing Cole just take the net when they're giving it to him like that. Nice job. Well backed up by Hollingsworth. See how we do on the established offense.
Carter Gregory swings it out. He's up against the long pole. Number 40, Tommy Cussin's gone to Emery Riddle. That's an Emery Riddle commit there. He feeds it over to Caden Costa, just checking into the game. The trigger's going to trot onto the field there. So you have number 8 on number 8. Now he gives way. He gives to the trigger. Number 8, the long pole's on him. And that's Cam Zielinski, team mom's son. So that's Julia McClellan's boy out there. There's a big drive wide. Good defense by the Dogs. And that's going to be a turnover. So number 14 is going to inbound it. That's going to be Max Coulter.
A little high for Gregory on the pass. See if we can get this ride working.
And there the whistle comes in. There's a little bit of shake and bake. Carter trying for the whip check, can't get it. He turns him over to Peanut Seaton, and Coulter bails out of that. Over to number 6, Jalimi, and Jalimi buries it in the cage. That's going to be 6-3 Oceanside. I didn't see it, Chris.
That pass set itself up perfectly for behind the back. It was kind of behind him. And because of that, he was able to get it behind the back. Gavin kind of played the ball out front like it was going to be a forward shot. So well done there by the Bolles Dogs. And we have a 6-3 game with 3:26 left.
Here we go, 6:23. This is going to be a lot of lacrosse to be played here, ladies and gentlemen. I know the Sharks came out like a house of fire, but Bolles is not giving up anytime soon. They won in triple overtime, you said last night, over Wando. Which I think took some people by surprise.
Well, and it's my understanding, I wasn't at the game, but it's my understanding that Wando had a 2-goal lead going late into that game. And like we said, they can pile on points quick, and they did so to get it to overtime.
How about that? AJ loses one off his helmet. Bolles switching up. Here comes Sawyer Arnold trying to lock off there. He forces it. There's going to be a flag. No,
the ref held the flag.
He put it back. He looked to the other ref to see if it was clean.
Yeah, he was looking across the field. Other ref shook his head.
Yeah, and they called off the flag. Sawyer, I don't know whether they actually got away with one or not. I thought it was clean. I mean, it was in the front. It was certainly a push. I mean, it's going to obviously remain Bolles' ball. I think that was number 10, Sean Doyle, that took the shot there. Number 17, one of their big guns, Jack Cox, he's going to Fairfield to play lacrosse at the next level. Up to 24, that's David Caldwell. He's going to Iona. This team is littered with commits, so an absolute talented team. Congratulations to all these young men. There's an errant pass.
What a job.
Able to be gathered in, but it's going to be turned over, and that's Peanut Seaton is off to the races.
Great try by number 10, keeping that ball alive for Bolles.
Peanut drills it in and brings it up, and there's a A shot across the goal mouth, a good save. I think that got to the goalie. It wasn't the defender. Turns it over to Carter Gregory. Carter Gregory's going to settle it down. Jackson Hyman and the Trigger are back in the game here.
We're going to get some new personnel in out there, Tony.
AJ's going to chug off, along with number 24 from Bolles. That's David Caldwell. He's going to step out. Everybody's going to get a breather, get a drink of water.
Rosebach checking in for his first shift tonight.
Here comes our boy Liam Rosebach, 2-6 in the house. 77, the Trigger running, gunning.
Great
save.
back check there. What a great back check. I believe number 3. Beautifully done on Titus.
The outlet pass to 19. That's going to be Luke Stevenson. He's off to the races. Liam Rosebach slams the door on him, turns it over to 13. Preston Hager. Robo Reese has got that sealed up. Number 14, Jackson Hyman staring him in the eye. Max Coulter makes a move, gets around. One player, two player. Peanut bodies him up. Gives him a shove. No flag.
We got flags back here. I think we may have an offsides because that looked pretty clean down in front of the goal.
Well, okay, so it's the offsides from a while, so it was just the touch-up.
So we'll have 30 seconds here, man down.
So Jackson Hyman looks like he's going to take a knee. That's been one of our first, I can't remember the last time we had an offsides. We've been managing the box pretty responsibly throughout this season.
They had a quick transition on us there, and I think we just got caught.
So, ladies and gentlemen, 1:26 left to go on a sticky night. Nice breeze, little overcast here at the Reef. And the Bolles man-up offense coming from down 6-3 is going to take a stab at this thing. Jack Cox is cocked. He winds, fires, dribbles one in, missed the pass to 24. Gavin gathers it up. He punts it far downfield looking for Carter Gregory. Comes away with number 40, Tommy Cusson, the Emory Riddle commit. He puts it on the ground. Brody Hollingsworth dishes it over to AJ. AJ can't gather it. Brody takes a swing at it, and 24 is off to the races.
I guess Oceanside choosing to punt there because of the short man down, just getting it downfield.
Here's a wind and a fire, and he catches the top of the net with a little bit of a screen from Reese. So 6-4, Oceanside. That's 2 unanswered goals by Bolles. And Oceanside's got to settle down here. That was a definite miscue, Coach. A little analysis there, if you will. I don't know what AJ was doing there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. They just kind of let him dance himself into the offensive zone, and literally he was up looking to shoot the whole time coming down, basically. So need to D that guy up, even if it's out of position. Just don't want to let him have free shots like that.
And from our vantage point, we watched, to our benefit, that happen to the Trigger against Charlotte Latin, where he just stood there right in front of us, squaring up the goal for a solid 2 count, and nobody guarded him.
Right, and you're going to take that shot every time. At least you should.
So everybody's pushing and shoving out there at the center dot. It looks like a stalemate. There's a lot of prying, and there's bodies flying.
We're going to get withholding on Cole. Ball was stuck in his stick. Now we're going to have a flag on top of it.
Uh-oh. I think somebody over-enunciated their feelings. Unsportsmanlike, unreleasable. And that's going to be Cole's temper got the better of him. And,
that one can sting here, Tony. 27 left.
Yeah.
That's unreleasable, so Bolles can just keep loading and firing here.
Yeah, and the Bolles crowd starts to come to life behind us. They're excited about that. Cole's feelings got the better of him there. And we've got a Hummer here.
Would love to see this Oceanside defense hold up in these last 20 seconds.
The Fortress is out there, what we call the Fortress, our man-down defense. And there's a mistake. 66 lets it go out of bounds, and he's going to turn it over to A.J. Zarzaka. That was a pass, was a little too hot for Cole Hunt. A.J. launches it downfield just to clear the zone. Carter Gregory grabs it in his cross, and he's looking for somewhere to go with it.
Not sure why we didn't have a clock start here.
And there's whistles. Timeout, maybe?
No, the clock never started on the inbounds.
Okay. Our referee on the near side here says, look, there's some things that are beyond my control. What can you do? The clock didn't start.
So I'm thinking that's end of quarter. unless it was a timeout. But
well,
I don't
they
think
reset
so.
the clock to 12 minutes. So
Oh, that's end of quarter.
So that was a 10-goal first quarter, Coach. That was a blistering pace of end-to-end lacrosse.
That is lacrosse whiplash right there. Oceanside unloading early, Bolles coming back, and after being down on the mat saying we're not out yet, firing back. Bolles has 2 unanswered goals here at the end of the first. We need to stem that momentum and get ourselves going back the right way. Now the issue we're going to have here is Cole, our Fogo, is going to be starting this quarter in the box. So we're going to have to make other arrangements at the face-off dot here for the second quarter.
Now, help me on the rules, Coach. We held the ball there at the end at the whistle. Or do we face off for the quarter, or do we get possession?
No, we will face off. That works on a penalty.
On a penalty. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Let's let me do some sponsors here. Even though look, I don't think I'm going to catch my breath this whole game.
Nah, you'll run short. Just get a few of them in.
I've sort of given that up. So let's get our sponsors going. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Charleston, for all your plumbing needs. You deserve the best. Call the pros at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Bowline Wealth Management, Coastal Millwork and Supply, Fast Trans Intermodal, Longshore Boats. Today's a good boat day. We always judge that when we do our first sponsor call. So the Merediths ought to be feeling good about the weather here. The
clouds might get you nervous, but
pollen's dying
right.
down, but so decent boat day. McDonald's Saltwater Rides, SGKA Investments, the Charleston Design Center, Thomas Supply, Axis Endurance Coaching, Charleston Elite Lacrosse, Lolax Lacrosse, Matzo Deli, Jersey Mike's.
So Tony, I was wrong. We are going to start with the ball.
Look at that. Look at me with the rules.
You go, Tony.
All right. Jersey Mike's, Beacon Community Bank, Acme Low Country Kitchen, Playa Bowls. I'm going to keep talking until they whistle it. The Heinmans, and now we're back to lacrosse.
And you got
the rest of the sponsors are going to have to wait.
And we got double teams up here near midfield because we're man down, so we're killing this penalty.
They're pressing hard. We're trying to kill the penalty. They turn it over, and that's going to be 40 driving into the zone there. I don't have a do I have a 40 on my roster? Yes, that's Tommy Cussin that brought that ball in. Now he's going to head off as the man-down defense. Titus Gillum's caught out there. The trigger is in an unfamiliar spot playing defense with AJ in the bullpen there.
Well, I guess Tommy won't be doing any cussing in this game because he saw what happened to Cole earlier. Right?
I like that. I like what you did right there.
Yeah,
I saw that.
See
All
that?
right, so AJ comes in. So we've got another defensive midfielder on the and the defense is suffocating. CJ making a statement against the big Fairfield commit. AJ turns him off, bodies him up. Can't get him to cough up the ball, though. He looks, takes, winds, fires. Gavin Harrison is equal to the task, snares it, and it's fortuitous that Titus is on the field because he's the outlet, but he's getting run down by David Caldwell, the Iona commit. Titus gets in, circles around, and the heavy press is on. And there's Jackson Heinman. That's going to be probably so they're going to call it over and back, even though they touched it.
It will, because we did get it in for possession or in the zone there.
All right, so the Bolles defense with a suffocating ride there, and we were caught in transition, couldn't quite establish ourselves. So Bolles exerting themselves here in a way not great for the Land Sharks, as this game has sort of stabilized into more of a boxing match, more jabs instead of haymakers. There's 14. He puts it up through the goalpost, headed for Faison Road, gets in the field goal net. So not sure what happened there, a last-minute check.
Well, he scored just in the wrong game.
That's right. Well, so they're not getting 3 points there, but there's the 1 point. The feed from number 2, Nolan Preston, over to 66, Cole Hunt. Preston to Hunt with 10-11 to go in the second quarter, and we got a one-goal game here, which is more what our bingo card said we would have.
Yeah, definitely, and that's 3 unanswered now.
Not sure exactly what Oceanside needs to adjust here, but clearly the Dogs have the Dogs have come on here hard.
Well, to me, Tony, I think the big thing, and you could probably say this in most games, it comes down to possession. Lacrosse is a possession game.
And staying out of the box.
Right. Where we've been winning possessions, we've been succeeding on the scoreboard. Yeah, staying out of the penalty box is always a good thing
Yeah,
to
so
do
that
as well.
2-minute unreleasable was pretty painful. So here's number 5, wins it clean over Cole, feeds it over to 77, and there's another goal. So the tying goal, Oceanside has now given up 4 unanswered, 5 unanswered goals actually. So
yeah, I think Oceanside's defense here is going to have to play a little bit tighter. These guys are not hesitating to shoot the second that ball's in their stick.
So that was number 77, Jack Cox. And, yeah, Coach, I mean, they've settled in. They weren't afraid to be down 5-1 or 5-2 or whatever it was. And here we are. We're in a dogfight. And there's Finley checking into the game. The youngster checks in, and he's in there digging for it. So, and we've got Silas Gillum out there, and number 6 comes away with it. There's some whistles. Looks like it's going to be a timeout by Bolles. And Bolles is feeling pretty good. Coach Harris is going to have to circle the wagons over here, and Coach Reich and Seaton, they're going to have to circle the wagons there. What do you suppose they're talking about in that huddle?
You know what, Tony? I mean, obviously you're not going to panic here. You came out, you had a great first quarter. You played well, you're scoring well. I think you got to go back and find that magic that you had, let it out of the bottle, start playing. Again, possessions are important. Not making these mistakes in the neutral zone with the turnovers. As we said, the penalty hurt us. We were having trouble getting the ball across field, being man down. But let's time to regroup. I think you start by saying, let's get possession, let's move the ball around, and try to break this momentum string that Bolles has put together here.
So we're going over. The attack starts wheeling down, and you've got the freshman and 2 seniors out there. Ian Long, of course, the freshman who's breaking records. If he hasn't broke them, he's going to. My understanding is he just matched the freshman scoring or point record with Jackson Hyman, and he did it in the same 12 games.
Right. So, you like to say we should compare records apples to apples, and that's a true one because Jackson had that record but had it in 12 games, and Ian has now matched it and I think beat it at this point, and did so also in 12 games.
All right, we are back to live lacrosse. Peanut Seaton doing the can opener, can't seem to pry it loose there. A.J. Zarzaka staring at number 9, Jake Kearns. Jake took a look. A.J. slammed the door on him. Back out here to 24 is Caldwell. Caldwell pushes it over to 13, Hager. Hager wheels around. He wants to shoot it, but Robo Reese wouldn't let him. AJ with a quick little move there, and then he bodies up Hager. Hager dumps it off, and he gets leveled by Sawyer Arnold, and unfortunately that's going to end us up in the box again. And Sawyer Arnold just plowed him.
I think if Sawyer was a second later there, that may have worked to his advantage. Unfortunately, the head was turned a little bit away from Sawyer. And that's going to be a lock-in. So.
Yeah, and the Bolles family here behind us, they're calling for the lock-in, so we're going to have 2 minute, I guess?
2 minutes.
2 minute unreleasable, and
we see what they did on that one the last time.
This is not what Oceanside has to play a clean game here. When we talked about the strategy here, they were going to kind of use Sawyer Arnold the way they did on Bishop England a year ago, where they locked off their top player with Sawyer Arnold, and that worked for that game. But it's not going to work here. There's a high winding shot coming from Jack Cox. He flings it over the net toward the construction site. Going to be inbounded by Cole Hunt, coming down under the goalpost. Back out here, 24 up top to Cox. Over to number 10, Doyle. Doyle pushes it around the net. Back to Hunt. Hunt swings it out to Caldwell, and Caldwell whistles another one wide over into the construction cones where Tom Harris's little blonde boys will chase it down.
Oceanside doing a good job here on man down so far.
Hunt swings it around. The Fortress is in play out here. What we call the Fortress. Finley's got it, and Harrison snares the shot. They were looking to go high on him, and they've been trying to do that. And there's a long ball all the way out the other end. And they're going to call interference. White ball.
We've got a break there, Tony. That's for sure.
So a big break, killing it off. Carter Gregory's going to bring it in as the whistle comes in.
Now, Oceanside needs to play smart here. They are going to get double-teamed hard up top here. We need guys to come help Gregory get this ball in.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the personnel. So you got Brody down low. You got Ian. You've got, is that the trigger over there behind 20? No, it's Jackson Hyman. So good thing. You got one of your fastest guys. And Carter gets around, and he's got somewhere to go. Feeds it back to Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth behind the net. He brings it back up in the alley. Jackson Hyman. I want to see Jackson wind and fire one of these things and whistle one in. But like you said, we've got to be smart about it.
Not yet.
Let's get some time off this clock and value this possession.
And I will say that was a lot of responsibility on Gregory, expecting him to leg out both those guys from midfield. Nice job on him doing that.
Right. So his reward is that he gets to sit behind and wait for Max Coulter to hit him with his stick. Max is not pressing him.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, single coverage back there. Gregory makes the move. Ian moves behind the net. Brody Hollingsworth back in his office toward the crease.
The trigger drooling to get in from the side over there.
Jackson Hyman sitting up here all by himself with a clean line of sight, but Carter's in the next county. No way to get him the ball. That wouldn't even be a skip pass. That would be a hop, skip, and jump pass.
And for everyone at home, I know you're saying, what are we doing here just running around? They're killing this penalty out. This was a 2-minute unreleasable penalty, a very important one to kill. And now we're evening up. We got Titus the Trigger coming on the field for 6-on-6 lacrosse.
What an outstanding penalty kill. And there's Jackson Hyman on the skip pass. And Wise fires, and Jackson Hyman Yahtzee.
So here's what happens, and I don't know if he was giving us the look or what, but once Jackson catches, he's like kindling. He sets everything else on fire, including himself.
Goodness gracious.
Let's hope that's the spark this team needs to, well, first of all, they put an end to that momentum swing that we had there, but let's hope we can start building on this 7-6 lead.
Killed off a 2-minute unreleasable and capped it off with Jackson Hyman ends the drought. He's punished the pipes.
Right.
For the last two games. He's hit it off the crossbar.
Yeah,
he's hit it off of both side posts.
There's definitely some missing pain on these goals from him, that's for sure.
So now we're back at it. Cole the clamp on the dot. Everybody got their wits about him. AJ's going to fight for it there. And that's number 5. Greer comes away with it. Going to push it up top to 8. Zielinski. Zielinski goes. What a great save by Harrison. Point blank range.
Great job on Gavin there. The shooter got around Cole, who was trying to exit the field.
AJ comes at full swing, full tilt, all the way up the field on the clear, hands it off to Ian Long. Ian Long pushes it back up to Jackpot Jackson Hyman. Over to the trigger.
Looks like we're going to exchange AJ for Carter here on the side.
AJ's going to go get a little oxygen after that hoof downfield.
Yeah, I think coaching realizing that AJ is going to be plenty busy tonight on defense. I'm sure he's going to get his offensive strokes here, though.
Yeah, he got his goal. He's going to be happy. Carter Gregory on the side of the net, out under the light post, feeds it out top. Jackson Hyman over to the trigger. Brody Hollingsworth directing traffic in front. A lot of lumber on the trigger. Brody all the way up top, as far from his office as he can be. Jackson Hyman on the side, makes the dodge, can't get around that way. Turns, winds, fires, and it's over into the fence. Backed up by Magic MJ Zanone. MJ's going to bring it in, staring into the sun. Blue helmets, a lot of blue helmets gleaming in that sun. 2 different shades of blue.
Yeah, it's definitely a bright field.
Trigger feeling it out. Back to MJ. MJ come running around. He gets it. Goalie got a toe on it. Pretty good swipe by MJ. Sneaky Pete little shot there from Zanone. There's a pretty good shot by Ian. There's going to be some whistles.
It's going to be a timeout, I believe.
I think you to be correct. And all of a sudden, we've got a 7-6 game, that 1-goal game.
I think it's a timeout.
Well, no one's running to the sideline, Coach.
Well, usually the ref will point to the bench. He hasn't yet.
Not sure. There's some player changes happening.
All right. No timeout.
I don't know what all that was. What's this?
Delay
a
of
game.
So I think they're going to say that didn't call a timeout. But
Jamie Hollingsworth down the end. Yeah, I don't know, Coach.
Well, we'll see. Oceanside ball.
Jamie Hollingsworth on his birthday laboring for the Land Sharks, picking up balls and bringing them back into play all the way down at the scoreboard end. Here's Jackson Hyman, whistles the ball in over to A.J. Zarzaka.
Our parents never take a day off, right, Tony?
We are up a man, feeds it over to the trigger from Ian back to A.J. up top. This man-up offense has been, what an athletic play from a pass that almost got away from Magic to Hyman. Over to Carter Gregory. Hyman, he looks almost stepped it down. Magic, he's going to push over to A.J. A.J. gets it inside. Hyman, wow. Carter Gregory gets number 5.
And that's the old A.J. to Gregory right
there.
I
was just going to say it. Thank you, Coach.
That is one that we're used to seeing quite often. A.J. doing a great job catching Carter, breaking through the middle. I was just going to say number 3 out there wreaking havoc. Big boy, big stick. And he was really messing with that man-up offense, but A.J. did a nice job finding Carter in the middle.
That is Tucker Chappell, their big number 3 defender. And A.J. finds Carter Gregory, and, there's a lot of really good pairs in sports, right? Montana to Rice, Brady to Gronk, things like that. And A.J. to Gregory, 33 to 55 is one solid connection.
Yeah, most good scorers have a good setup man, and A.J. has certainly served well in that role for Carter.
Silas Gillum doing some tough work. Sorry, Coach. Silas Gillum doing some tough work, feeding it around. Brody Hollingsworth in front. Brody draws the flag. He's taking all kinds of lumber. He holds on to it. Brody coming back from that back injury that's had him out the whole year, and right there is why we are a better team with Brody Hollingsworth.
Already a heady play in his first half of lacrosse, bringing that ball back out once he knew he had the penalty. If you're going to get a free play, why not take a good shot?
And I'd love to see if we could get the birthday boy on the mic here at some point. He doesn't like a lot of attention. He generally kind of floats around the outskirts of the field, Jamie Hollingsworth. But I know he is emotional today, watching his boy out there. It's been a struggle for that family to come to these games and watch us succeed. But I can tell you there's a feed in front, and Brody almost had it.
I think he just couldn't get it tucked away in the cross, and it kind of bobbled down in front of him, and he probably just looked down in disgust.
And we're going to go man up because of the bro man. A little shake hand with A.J. on the way off the field there. And what a magnificent second quarter we got cooking here through the back half.
3:38 left.
And for all the trouble that we had on the man down where we couldn't stay out of the box there, here comes our man-up offense that's been so productive. Keep a tight eye on A.J. and Carter. The trigger lurking out here. Ian feeds it up to the trigger.
Yeah, right.
Trigger takes a look. A.J. doesn't want to step it down. Too much of a crowd. One hopper over to Jackson Hyman, back to Magic. Got nowhere to go there.
That's 2 heady plays by Jackson, cleaning up some errant passes tonight. Nice job on him.
The defense is closing in. Back to the trigger. The trigger takes a one bouncer off a foot there. I think it hit 22's foot.
Yeah, I like that shot. The goalie was tucked in against the post on this near side, and he was shooting far side. Good little shot by Titus there.
And again, because we have a natural lefty, we have the best look at it.
Right,
from our vantage point.
It's not every time that we can give that kind of commentary, but it's perfect in our sight line here.
He's very hospitable. Here it comes again. No, he decided no. Oh. And there is Ian Long. He gets the goal. Little Ian Long decides he's going to take the shot. He gets the feed from A.J. to Titus to Ian Long, and Ian puts it from low to high on the near side, nothing but net.
I hope South Carolina knows what they're going to get with this kid, man. He is a beast.
Wow.
Second goal of the game, just continuing to add to his freshman total here.
What a fantastic effort, and here is Oceanside back to a 3-goal lead. 2:51 to play. Very exciting lacrosse here. This is every bit of the heavyweight battle we expected. It going a little tilted Oceanside's way early on. There's a clean win by number 5, Borey.
Yeah, Greer pulled that up with no issue whatsoever.
And he is downfield, and there's Gavin Harrison is the wall. A.J. Zarzaka looks for the outlet, pivots. He's got Greer bearing down on him. He's got number 10, Sean Doyle, bearing down on him. A.J. runs away from everybody.
Great to see Gavin seeing that ball well. I'm sure he gave up maybe 1 or 2 goals early that he wanted back, and he's definitely made some strong saves here.
Brody's in trouble with the double team. He whistles it over to Ian. Little touch pass out there. AJ's going to get onside and get back out of this game after hoofing it down. That seemed to work last time. Over to the trigger. Here comes Jackson Hyman into the game. And we're going to go around again. Jackson to Carter Gregory. Carter Gregory over here to the trigger. Titus the trigger. Back to Carter Gregory. Jackson Hyman. Hyman makes a move. Can't get free. Wants to get those hands free. Feeds it off to the trigger. A little bobble there. Back over to Carter Gregory under the light post. Carter looking for a place to go. Gets a step. Number 10 slams the door. Draws the slide. And there is Ian, the freshman, with his 5th, 5 hat trick on the year. And he's looking for a sombrero here in the second half.
I was starting to say before, Tony, we're just lucky to see how lacrosse is growing here at Oceanside, at South Carolina in general. What an incredible job! What a role he's filling as a freshman. I don't know. Preseason, Tony, I'm not sure that we had Ian Long on our radar. I mean, I knew we had some talented freshmen, but holy cow!
Well, I'm going to correct you there for 1 second. So over the summer, there was a couple of people that Tom Harris, there were some families on the fence of whether they'd come here or not. And I know Tom was hoping, and they're all loggerheads families. And Tom, when I said, who we hoping for a freshman class? And he said, Ian Long, Finley, Bradford, and there was one other one. He said, if we get those four families, and they do everything together, right? So those 4 families, if they decide collectively that Oceanside's the right school for their boys, because, look, what are we doing here? They're going to school.
Right.
If Oceanside's the right school for their boys, the right culture, if we're fortunate enough that those 4 families decide Oceanside is correct for them, little bobble there by the trigger, high pass coming in from Rosenbach. Trigger. So anyway, those are the 4 guys. So I want to say Tom Harris had it on his bingo card.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he didn't come in too far under the radar. Just great to see how he's contributing. Timeout here by Oceanside.
45 seconds, 10-6. Oceanside over Bolles. 45 seconds left to go in the half, and the Oceanside seems to have stemmed the onslaught here. Bolles came at it with a lot of haymaker punches.
Well, Tony, we have the dreaded third quarter coming up.
We do.
And I feel like we've ditched that curse in these last 6-7 games. But my guess is when you see how Bolles came out at the beginning of that second quarter, we're going to get that same push from them in the third, and Oceanside's got to be ready to weather that storm.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think we've settled down. We took the question is, have we taken their best punch?
Right. I think they've got more to offer. I really, really do. But we responded, and that's more than you can ask for. The fact that we responded, and we responded in big ways. We won some big face-offs. We had some good defensive stands against them. So as a coach, I think you take those victories and you build upon them. But you got to be ready. You never know when that other team's going to throw that haymaker.
Yeah, and this team certainly has them. Again, they come in here, Max Prep's number 17 in the country. They're number 2 in the state of Florida. I'm assuming IMG to be, they're IMG's top team to be number 1. I could be completely wrong. I didn't look.
I mean, there's some crazy lacrosse being played in Florida. So.
Down there in that Sunshine State, they are really playing they're whistling the ball around pretty good. We saw some of it when we were down at Bolles for our games last week. So we're going to get the ball whistled in all the way out to AJ 33 up top, and you can tell that they're setting up that last shot. We watched it in the last game against Latin with 0.5 seconds left where AJ to Carter gets home. So here's –
I think they'd like a little more room for air.
Man.
We'll take –
Carter Gregory, he whistled it 1 inch over the crossbar.
And I think we're going to have a turnover there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that didn't pan out. So Zanone's going to sprint for the bench. The referee's going to hoof it up here to the half line.
We're going to need a strong ride here. 22 seconds left. Don't want to be giving up that end of first half goal.
No, and there is a size mismatch there with Ian on. And Ian manages to pry it loose. Ian Long, he doesn't just have a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. He is prying the ball loose when we need it most.
Unbelievable play
So-
on Ian there. Just can't say enough about that.
He gets the better. Here's the trigger in, and he gets the last-second goal. Titus, the trigger, Gillum.
Tony, he kept going, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's shooting this. There's no way he's shooting this.
Oh,
He's
yes,
running
he
out of
is.
goal. And he somehow shoots that and catches the far end of the goal.
Chris, we can shoot the breeze. These boys are shooting the ball. I keep saying it.
That's what we want him to do.
And what an unbelievable effort there. It starts with Ian Long in a defensive posture as an attackman, a freshman. What a mature play
I love an aggressive ride.
against Luke Stenson, who is a senior.
I always love an aggressive ride. I love the fact that Ian could have just kind of jogged upfield with him. He's like, no way, buddy. You're not clearing this ball.
And that is going to be 11-6, Oceanside. Cole Bradford gets leveled off the face-off. It's going to be possession there. They fire it down. Robo Reese takes the can of corn, pop fly into his cross, and we are going to end this half up 5 goals on Bolles. And we're going to take a 10-minute break here.
We definitely need a break.
I need a drink of water or something.
Couple Advil, maybe.
Yeah, I need
cow.
if anyone has an oxygen tank handy,
Right.
I'll take it.
Right.
But, like I said, I expected that this was going to be two heavyweights punching each other in the nose. I am not disappointed. It hasn't quite taken the form that I thought it was going to take, but we are where I thought we would be.
No, Tony, I'll tell you, when I saw that a game last night against a strong Wando team this year went 8-7 in triple overtime, I thought, holy cow, this is going to be just a defensive fest out there.
Yeah.
And but it's turned out to be quite the scoring extravaganza.
17 goals in 24 minutes.
This is why you play the game. This is why you don't just look on paper. So great start here for Oceanside in the first half. We'll see if we can duplicate this going into the second. And I think we'll take a break and be back.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen out there watching, if you like what you're hearing, give us a like on our page, subscribe, do the things you do with YouTube, send us a little message, see how if you like what you're hearing. We always like to hear a positive comment. If you don't like it, well, then keep that to yourself. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we are out for the next 8 minutes. I am. Welcome back. We are live from the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The sun is starting to set. The stadium lights are on. It's a little hot. It's a little sticky. The no-see-ums are out, and the lacrosse balls are flying. 17 goals in the first half, Coach. What a run. I mean, I got a nice break at the half there. I feel good. I'm refreshed. I'm ready for the next thicket.
I hope our boys got a break, too. They need to come out firing here. So I think we talked a lot about everything going on in the first half. Just want to give a big shout-out to your boy here, Tony, AJ.
Oh.
We uncovered an interesting record that we're going to call the Triple Crown for now. Maybe we'll think of a better name in the future. But no one on the Oceanside program history list has accomplished 100 ground balls, 50 points, and 25 caused turnovers.
Wow.
That would be equivalent to like the I forget what the name of the trophy is in hockey that they give to the all-around center iceman. The center iceman that plays great offense and great defense. I think that's similar to what AJ's demonstrating out there with statistics like that. A huge congratulations to him. That's yeoman's work, and he's only added to those totals tonight, and we're blessed to have him. So congrats to your boy.
Thank you so much, and what an honor for AJ, and we'll let him know after the game. He probably has no idea, and nor does he care at this very moment as long as we get what we need here.
Yeah, the wins feel better, I think, for the boys.
Yeah, I think they'd rather win. So AJ's out there. Cole the clamps on the dot. AJ's going to fight for this ball. He comes up. There's another ground ball for AJ. He gets spilled, and he draws the penalty. And number 5, the face-off guy, Greer Beret, the high point commit, is going to take a trip to the sin bin for leveling AJ. So not only did he get the ground ball, he became the ground ball.
Well, and he does so proudly, which is a great thing. Tony, I love to hear that Oceanside bench. Those boys look possessed over there on the sideline. I hope nobody gets hurt with all the the hooting and hollering and pushing. I love to see that enthusiasm out there.
And we haven't seen it in years, that kind of passion. First of all, we didn't have enough guys on the sideline because they were all on the field. The squads have been small.
We couldn't be loud enough last year.
Yeah, so you only had a couple guys. There's a bunch of whistles. I'm not sure what's going on. The clock didn't start maybe?
I think that might be the problem. I'm wondering if we're having some communication difficulties. We got some great people over there running the sideline. I can't imagine that they're not on top of running things.
Yeah, A.D. Meyer is over there. Christina Brown, a little shout-out to our administration. Christina Brown, Principal Brown is here. Mark Meyer, A.D. Savannah Metz, the trainer over there. Our athletic training staff, want to give big props to them. They're working on our guys. These guys are in the ice tub. There's a lot goes on behind the scene to keep these boys healthy. Well, and I have no idea what happened. My understanding is that Andy ran into Caden Costa, so he met the immovable object at practice the other day, and he's got an AC joint issue from it.
Costa is one of those boys that does not move without effort, and Andy tried and apparently met his match a little bit. I think Costa's no worse for the wear, but Andy's got some healing to do. And luckily he's got about 2.5 weeks to do that until we get to playoffs. And we're going to need him ready to go for that stretch run.
Absolutely. So props to CJ for stepping in. And we saw Finley out on the field.
Yeah, CJ
a little bit.
CJ's looked incredible tonight. Logan's been out there contributing well as a freshman, which is terrific. Next man up mentality. That's what we got to have on this team.
Amen to that. And Land Sharks are in business. So A.J. Zarzak is out there in the man-up offense. The man-up offense has been very productive. Jackson Hyman over. Very athletic play by Carter Gregory. He turns, almost takes number 20's head off. He didn't quite get all the way around on that shot, and he pushed it a long way.
I'm wondering if Carter shot that because he knew he was about to drop it or get clocked. So he figured shoot it, get it backed up, and reset.
Heady play.
Or maybe he didn't get turned around. But either way, Oceanside retains possession here.
Ian comes in, up top to the trigger. A.J. Zarzak, here comes man on. There's Carter. Hyman looking for a place to shoot. Ball pops up. Back to MJ Magic Zanone. He's going to draw another penalty. Took some lumber to the hat. We got a free play. And here comes the man up. Is going to remain on the field, although AJ's running off. Not sure who's coming on for him.
So special teams working into this game big time here today, Tony. We'll see what Oceanside does with this free play leading into their man up.
Bro man Brody Hollingsworth, blue cleats, comes in. Over to Jackson Hindman. Carter Gregory in the alley. Gets around the pole. Jackson, Brody, Trigger, coming to Ian. Ian comes back around, dishes it off to Carter. He's got the look he wanted. No, couldn't pull it down. Goes left-handed, and then goaltender makes an outstanding save. Kind of bounced it in front of him.
Yeah, Carter does the hand switch there up top, shoots lefty. Goalie makes a nice low save on him there, and we'll be trotting the man-up offense back out on the field. We'll see A.J. come in for this.
Will Martell, senior, I think he's a senior, I'm pretty sure. Will Martell, on my dance card, is a junior goaltender for the Bulldogs. Great save there. Over to A.J. Zarzaka. We're back up in business, man up. A.J.'s in. Ian Long, Jackson Hindman, Magic Zanone, Carter Gregory, and there's a kick save by, right to A.J. Catches the rebound. MJ's got it. Another save. Backed up by Ian.
Number 16 just putting on a little bit of a clinic here on this Oceanside man up.
Will Martell taking everything the Land Sharks have right in stride. Carter Gregory comes wheeling around. The players are going to come with a different play. And there's MJ Magic Zanone with the BTB for the goal.
3 big saves for Martell on that series. Unfortunately, the 4th one evaded him.
The Oceanside man-up offense proves in the end to be too much for Martell after an outstanding stand. 3 back-to-back saves. As a goalie dad, you got to be looking at that going, that's fantastic.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, he was 75% on that series. At some point you need the defense to make some stops there. Big goal for MJ Zanone. That's 50 on his career. MJ doing MJ things, as we love to say, and congrats to him on his 50th goal.
And he's only a junior, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
sure there's going to be plenty more to come. CJ doing a great job getting that ball off the turf.
Silas Gillum in on the short stick midfield. He's going to trade places with Rosebach. Here comes Caden Costa in. Rosebach's got it. 12-6 Land Sharks, 9 minutes to go, 9:26:25 to go. Rosebach comes over, takes a peek, going to dish it over to the Trigger. Trigger gets his running start, runs by number 8, the pole, hands off to 19, back over to Costa. Costa comes wheeling around. He's got Rosebach up top. Ian Long, Broman, Brody Hollingsworth behind the net in his office, feeds it over to the Trigger. So Carter Gregory's getting a little bit of a blow here. A break. Here comes Ian, and that goes off a body wide. Goes off a body wide. Shot's backed up. The Trigger's back there. No problem. Costa moving down toward the goal crease. Martell, the goaltender, barking out orders. Something he didn't like about the set there for the defense. Up to MJ. Rosebach under the light post. Into the sunshine, into the glare. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Angie's doing the best she can to avoid the glare. Excellent camera work as always. Feeds it over to Ian Long, and Ian takes a shot, and Martell just says no.
Long beat his defender there, and Martell, the goalie, number 16, bailed out his defender that was on the ground, making that save on Long, and we're looking at Bolles going downfield.
Yeah, so Max Coulter's running upfield, uncontested. Gets one, goes off of G's helmet, although he seemed unfazed.
I think it was off the Bolles player that was squatted in front of the net right by G's stick.
Luke Stenson was on a knee trying to stay out of the way of the shot, and he ends up caroming it off his helmet. Wouldn't that have been interesting if it went in?
That would have been something.
Not fortunate.
Unintended assist there, right?
Right. 24, David Caldwell whistles one high and wide.
Well, I guess that would have been the goal.
Yeah.
The assist would have been on the actual shooter there.
Right. 13 comes around. He's got his hands free, and there's a shot, and G says, I'll take it. Gavin Harrison has been on an absolute tear in the pipes for 7 straight games.
Good to see G starting the second half where he left off the first.
It's funny, the finger doesn't hurt when they win.
Nah. You know how that goes, Tony. You had many years out on the gridiron.
Peanut Seaton, pole goal! Anytime you have Peanut that close, if he's in the box, he's going to pull the trigger. 13-6, Oceanside coming out storming in the second half. 7:17 to go.
Peanut had, what, 4 last game or 3?
Yeah, well, he had a hat trick.
He definitely had the hat trick. I mean, the kid is just not afraid to let her rip.
If it's a pole goal hat trick, is it a pat trick?
It is now. It is now. We need a attorney to be our trademark person.
Yeah.
We'll keep him real busy with some new terminology.
If it's a pole goal hat trick, it's a pat trick.
Very Irish feeling, right?
Yeah, a little bit there. Okay, so back to live lacrosse, and here comes the Bulldogs. They are not going to go away, and there's a goal by number 2, Nolan Preston. He gets inside, and while we're busy naming pole goals, these guys are coming storming downhill. I'll tell you what I don't like is for 2 possessions straight, they were given the zone and kind of handed it to them.
Yeah. And
I mean, that hasn't been happening this whole game.
We talked about that a little bit, Tony, how we kind of back off a little bit. And I know you said when we were talking about that last week, that rarely works out in our favor. I want to go back to that very aggressive stance that we've been taking.
13-7, Oceanside with a 6-goal commanding lead, but not safe. Some sort of procedure. It's going to be, we're going to lose another possession there. And now there's going to be laundry on the field. Not sure what's the problem. Were we offsides, onsides? What's everybody's issue here? I can't figure out what's happening. Finley's coming off. Peanut's coming on.
It looks like that was on our buddy Cole. I didn't see anything about unreleasable.
No, but he's going to take a knee, and the Fortress man-down defense comes onto the field. So you've got Zarzaka, Robo, Reese, Thomas the pickpocket. Their Bulldogs are allowed again to take the zone uncontested. Bulldogs are going to wheel it around, 17-10. Doyle feeds it around to 13, Hager.
And that's a big drop there, Tony, because we were a little behind on our slides. That lets us regroup here.
Thomas comes over. He plays it in front. Big body check by CJ. What an outstanding effort by CJ. He got a little behind him, and he was a little behind the play, but he bodied it up, and he physically took.
CJ's stick was out of play, so he used his body and just did a great job there interrupting that shot. Good play on CJ. Good help by his other defenders. And now Oceanside will have a full complement of defense out there to hopefully generate a turnover going the other way.
And so we kill off the minor penalty. You got 66. Cole Hunt, he's been dangerous in this game.
Yeah, he kind of serves the Ian Long role back there for this Dogs offense.
Jack Cox being covered by Silas Gilm. He takes the double team. AJ gets to him. He dumps it off behind the net to Hunt. Up to 24, Caldwell. Caldwell trying to direct traffic. He's got a face full of peanut Seton. Don't envy that.
May have got away with a ward there.
Sean Doyle has got AJ on him. AJ's with him step for step. He's got the stick on him. No hands free. Hands him off to CJ. AJ wheels back inside to cover Nolan Preston. And then you've got Robo Reese on number 13, Preston Hager. Hager gives way. That's Cox. He goes a big overshot. Gavin kind of stuck a leg out there. I don't know that the ball hit anything, but it made him feel good.
He loves the kick save, that boy.
Yeah. Well, whatever works for you. He kept it out of the net. And, again, I don't know if it grazed him or if he just felt better kicking out there, but nonetheless.
The idea is to not let the ball go in the goal.
Right.
So you do whatever you can to prevent that.
Zero interest in style points there. There's a handcuff pass to Doyle. And he's quickly smothered by the pickpocket. AJ, he's marking his territory with Hager. Hager dumps it off in front, and there's a miscue. Hager passes it wide for Doyle, and Doyle can't corral it. And there's just a giant tackle. No flag that I can see. No laundry on the field. It was a harmless play. Thomas just, the player went down, and Thomas tripped over him, I think.
I think they deemed both of them were playing the ball.
Incidental.
Right.
AJ with a little whip snake there.
Tell you what, Oceanside making this Bulls offense work for it here.
And the clock is tick, 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 tick. There's a bobble by number 66, Cole Hunt, and he's down.
I think we're going to have a stoppage here.
We've got a stoppage. It was a clean hit, no penalty.
don't want to see anybody injured on the field. Hope he's okay.
So the players will take a knee, and we hope number 66, that Cole Hunt, is okay. He like gathers himself.
He's been a big part of this offense tonight.
Yeah.
Good to see him up and jogging to the sideline.
And
hopefully he keeps going.
Yeah, maybe turned an ankle there or moved weird.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's a hot night. Guys are sweating.
Yeah, that looks maybe, I think you're right, Tony. That might be more of like an ankle or something.
Yeah,
usually that cramp, they're right down on the ground getting it stretched out.
Yeah, so he's going to go get some attention. And we're going to bring it up. So it's a turnover nonetheless. C.J. Johnson bringing it up. They're going to challenge up to Peanut Seaton. So dangerous in the offensive zone. Peanut's going to wheel back. He gives way to the trigger. Over to Carter Gregory. Everybody's trying to get right here. Brody Hollingsworth, arms up. I'd love to get Brody mic'd up. He talks a lot during the game. And I don't mean like he chirps. He calls, different things throughout the game to positional things.
He usually finds himself at that X attack position, and he has a great viewpoint from back there. So that's the guy you want chirping and telling his guys what's going on.
Brody wheels out front. Magic's a known behind. And this new complement, so the odd man out when the music stops is our boy Kamikaze Caden Costa, who's been in the starting role on the attack.
Yeah, Costa's finding himself running back at a midfield role now, and he's had some runs there tonight, and I'm sure he'll continue to get them.
Absolutely. So it's not a shot at him, but when you have a Brody Hollingsworth, a healthy Brody Hollingsworth, you have to have him in the game. There's Jackson Hyman, hands-free, top shelf. Jackson Hyman gets in for number 2.
And that's the shot we want Jackson taking. Just perfect. Is good ball movement on the offense, a little breakdown on the Dogs' defense there. Jackson shooting hands wide open. Nice job.
Jackpot Jackson Hyman. So happy for that young man. He was, he made it a point to shoot more, and in the previous, so go back 5 games, he had a ton of assists. He was dishing it all over the place, and and the last game he decided to shoot more. I'll take credit for it because I told him he should shoot more. That's not why he's doing it, but it feels good for me.
Third assistant coach, Tony Zarzak.
The third, fourth assistant coach. There's a ball on the ground off the face-off. AJ comes in, put a body into it. Bolles comes down with it, and that's going to be Leo. It's a tough last name. I'm not going to say it. So Leo, it's a very cool name.
That's right up your alley, Tony.
It is, but my tongue isn't going to say that right now.
Too much excitement.
Yeah, too much excitement, and I know what it's like to be Italian and have your name butchered, so I'm not going to do it out of respect. How's that?
Number 10, sprinting through there, Sean Doyle. That's an easier one to say.
Yep. So Doyle wings it around. Number 2, there's a flag out.
Yeah, we really want CJ to touch up this ball. And there's some unbelievable communication. I just can't say enough. I hope you heard it at home. MJ Zanone from across the midfield line yelling to his defender, there's a flag down, get the ball out, get the ball out. CJ didn't have to pick that ball up. All he had to do was get it out of bounds, and he did. Great job on MJ. Those are the little things that win championships. Great job being out there supporting his defense.
So Sawyer Arnold will take a knee because it's been 10 minutes since he's done that. So he'll take a knee, and the Fortress defense, man-down defense, the Fortress is out there, minus Andy Jones.
Minus Andy plus CJ.
CJ. And there's a shot wide.
And that's a trade we'll take. Obviously we want Andy out here, but CJ is more than capable and has been showing that tonight.
14-7, Oceanside over Bolles, 2 minutes in a man-down Fortress defense position. Robo Reese comes out, slams the door on Doyle. Over, back to Doyle at the top. Over to big number 17, Jack Cox. Cox behind the net to Hunt. Glad he's okay. And there is Doyle standing on the doorstep, unchecked with, what's G do there?
Yeah, Doyle was just a little too free there. G was kind of turning around, following the ball from back at X. He had himself turned around and square, but Doyle had plenty of time to size that up and get that up top on us. 14-8, 6-goal lead here for Oceanside, 1:58 left in the third quarter.
Yep. Peanut Seaton coming over here to the wings. Silas Gillum on the other side. The clamp doing a great job on the dot tonight. I don't know what the percentage is. I'd love to see it, but I think he's got the better of it. He does not. Marina's saying our statistician behind me.
Our statistician says no.
Says no, and that just goes to show. But there he is, and he said, I don't care what you guys think. I'm going to run down here because I won it.
Well, he won this one, and that's the most important one at the moment, so good on him.
MJ runs to the behind. Brody puts a little pick out for him.
Have to think Oceanside might want to try and move this around, burn the rest of this clock to get to the fourth quarter.
Carter Gregory comes out. Jackson Hyman, 2 goals for Jackson, 4 goals for Carter. I think I said 5 for 55 earlier. I was also corrected. The statistician is a stickler and doesn't particularly care about my emotional outbursts on air. So, 55 has 4. Trigger over there.
She will let you know, Tony.
Yeah, it's not bashful. Not bashful.
I think it's great we have a statistician now.
I think it's fantastic. It's certainly good fodder for TV.
I don't know that she intended that role, but she is now.
Well, she's good at it.
We're under 48 seconds here. Oceanside seems to be content to be burning this clock, moving the ball around.
Trigger, MJ. The defense is not afraid to pressure here. They're going to force the issue. Jackson Hyman all the way out on the blue carpet at the O.
Yeah, and Jackson will take that with that short stick matchup. He'll say, hey, come get me.
Trigger. Everybody seems content to move at a glacial pace here. We're going to play, and they took a stab at it. Number 6 tried to Guglielmi. I feel terrible. I'm Italian.
You gave it a try. You gave it a try. 9 seconds left. Ian Long.
Ian takes another shot. Magic tried to sweep one right out of the goalie net there, or the goalie crosshair. Couldn't do it. There's a turnaround, blistering shot by Carter Gregory, and I'll tell you.
Can we say enough about Will Martell in there
Will
tonight?
Martell.
I mean, I know Oceanside has 14 on the board, but my gosh, this kid has made some saves tonight. Big shout out to him. We've got some good shooters on this Oceanside team, and he is making them work for these goals. Nice job by Martell.
Yeah, so Martell is keeping them within striking distance of this game, because were it not for him, there's at least 4 or 5 more on the board.
Yeah,
and this game becomes out of reach. 6 goals is not an insurmountable lead for this Bolles team.
No, definitely not. I mean, you see how fast they poured those 3-4 on against us quickly. Martell is certainly to be thanked by his team from stealing some good ones against this Oceanside team.
So let's hit some sponsors real quick, because we haven't done that.
It's been such a crazy pace here. We haven't got much time, but let's go.
Thank you to all our sponsors and everyone that makes Oceanside lacrosse possible. But Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, the Punctual Plumbers, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Charleston, Bowline Wealth Management, Coastal Millwork and Supply, Fast Trans Intermodal, Longshore Boats, McDonald's, Saltwater Rides, SGKA Investments, the Charleston Design Center, Thomas Supply Company, Axis Endurance Coaching, Charleston Elite Lacrosse, Low Country Lacrosse, Mazzo Deli, Jersey Mike's, Migliori's, San Miguel, Beacon Community Bank, Acme Low Country Kitchen, Playa Bowls, the Rose Box, the Heinmans, the Longs, the Funkadelics. I didn't get to say that last time because we got to go back to lacrosse. The Johnsons, the Craybills, the Hollingsworths, the birthday boy, Jamie Hollingsworth, the Gregory family, the Harrison family, and everybody right on cue. Back to live lacrosse. Number 5 takes the face-off away from the clamp.
So the clamp is 9 for 23 on the dot tonight. So he's losing the war, but he's won some important battles.
And he just dug it out and got the ball back.
That's what he does. He doesn't turn it off.
He sees it. He bounces it right off a player, puts it in front. Ian couldn't gather it.
Kind of a funny series there with the way that ball bounced.
Yeah, Cole just found himself running down, and he's got the confidence that he says, look, if nobody's going to guard me, I'm going to – oh, that's not good. So there's Peanut. Peanut separates the ball, the player. He loses it in the sun. A.J. Zarzaka comes away with it, and there's a whole bunch of whistles. A.J. Zarzaka is on the turf.
And I'm hoping that's a cramp.
What seems to be the problem there, son? Jean Marie, my wife, behind me. and it's a stretch.
All right.
So AJ's cramped up.
And rightfully so.
Which is
He's
the
been running his you-know-what off tonight.
Best news we can get, Savannah Mets will run out and feed him full of pickle juice or beetle juice or something. And he's cramped up. We joke about that and say he took sniper fire. Because he goes down like a rock.
Down goes Frazier.
Down goes
when he took
AJ.
Would you call it the crown box?
Yeah, he took one into
ago?
the crown box,
right.
and his periwinkle crown got cracked.
All right. Well, it looks like no major injury, so that's good to hear for AJ. He'll go jog off and stretch that out.
Yeah, he's got the valet jog going.
So Tony, we were just saying before how Cole isn't quite winning the face-off battle, but boy has he contributed. He's won some important face-offs. Just what he did right there, not giving up, getting the turnover, which was great. And also, statistician tells me G. Harrison's got 10 saves on the night. So that's great to see, and that's a big part of helping this Oceanside be at 14-8 lead.
Amen to all that. Quick note on the cramp thing. So, in our house, I'll break from the story when it's time to call the offense here. Trigger over here. Trigger liked it. He didn't like it. He pulled it down. He goes back to Carter Gregory under the light post, back to Jackson Hyman. Jackson took a feign shot there. Got the defenders. He's got 4 defenders on him. Trigger likes it. He was about 6 inches too high of the crossbar there, or that thing was in the net.
That was great passing there by the offense. Zanone saw Trigger out there up top, and boy, oh boy, just missing that top crossbar.
Okay, Brody Hollingsworth coming around, looking for a place to dish it. He throws it over to Carter Gregory. Carter Gregory takes a little bit of a pick for Brody. Brody gets him a little space. Jackson Hyman all the way back under the goal post and the end line, staring down number 20, Jimmy Hunt. Hyman comes out. He's got Ian Long, and Ian Long buries it.
That's 4 for Long tonight.
4 for number 4. We get from our statistician a confirmed 4 for number 4. And that young man, the freshman, continues to impress. Throughout this, he's already threatening or broken freshman scoring records.
He's broken the points record. I think he's working on the goals record. He may have that by now. The kid's such a producer. We can't keep up with him here on the side. So
15-8.
What a great job.
Yeah, 15-8. Fourth quarter, 10 minutes ticking down, and it is all Oceanside at the moment. The clamp out there, wrestling, wrenching. He comes away with it, and he is darting down the field. He flips it over to Magic Zanone. Zanone looking for a place to go. Silas Gillum retreating, trying to give him some place to go with the ball. Zanone takes heavy fire from 2 or 3 different Bulldogs before giving way to Carter Gregory.
He had a Bulldog coming off on a change who decided to deliver a little hit on his way to the bench.
Brody Hollingsworth back to Carter Gregory. Rosebach checking in. He didn't get his. He's usually good for one around this time of the game.
Yeah, Rosebach, he usually checks in each game. I mean, he's pretty consistent at getting his goal a game.
Right.
And
Angie, what? I think that would be reasonable. So Angie says, and these guys, all the parents here, we study the stats trying to come up with things for TV. But, Rosebach is probably the most efficient scorer on the team because he gets the fewest opportunities but manages to capitalize. So he has the best scoring percentage on the team is what Angie's saying, and I completely buy that. Here's MJ, and MJ feeds it in to the left of the goaltender's head, and Martell was left with nowhere to go. I think he thought that MJ was going to put it down low, and he put that in about a 6-inch space between the goaltender's head and the post.
Yeah, definitely.
So 16-8.
I think this goaltender's telling his defense, look, just get on the guy's hands. Don't worry about the big turnovers. Don't worry about the big checks. Keep these guys' hands tied up so they can stop shooting on me for a little bit. Oceanside building an 8-goal lead here with 9:05.
A.J. Zarzaka over here on the wing. Good to see the boy back in the game. He's probably telling number 6 there. Guglielmi. I think that's it. I think Guglielmi.
Oh, can we call them Goombas?
We could call. They're definitely Goombas. I mean, there's no question about they're Goombas.
3 plus 3 equals 6.
Yeah.
Right?
The 3s and the 6s. So he's probably saying, boy, yeah, cramped up there. And they're exchanging stories. So A.J.'s going to jog it out. As long as he keeps moving, he'll be fine.
Number 7 coming in the face-off circle there, Cooper Matson, trying to get some things going for the Dogs.
And AJ has it in and out of his cross, loses it in the sun. 15 comes away with it. Peanut chopping away, gives him the Paul Bunyan. Number 6 goes rolling down with it. Leo, he fires it in, and Gavin Harrison says, not here.
Yeah, Gav's eating tonight. Great to see.
Now, you got to be real careful here. And there was a lucky – well, I don't want to say it's lucky because that goaltender, Martell's been outstanding.
Yeah, Martell's been good.
He had to come off the ground and hit him in the face.
I like Peanut taking that shot, but here's the problem. We didn't kill much time off the clock there. Now, the assumption is that shot goes by, we have it backed up, we keep possession. But we got a goofy bounce there. Now we have a turnover, giving the Dogs team some opportunities to score. So let's see how we do on this ride. Hopefully generate a turnover and get the ball going back the right way.
So here comes Hunt, Cole Hunt, and he is hunting his way toward the half line, gets it in the zone, over to 21, back to 17, the big man Jack Cox. And Cox feeds it back to Hunt.
Good to see Hunt back in the game. He went off earlier with an injury. He looks like he's moving okay now, which is good.
He seems fine. Wings it over to Caldwell. Caldwell up top. Got Peanut seating on him. Back over to Hager. Hager pushes it, or he comes it around. He's looking to try and catch the pick. The pick doesn't do much to stop Robo Reese. There's an errant pass. And CJ does a good job.
Reese just being patient on those hands, not going for the big check, just keeping those hands tied up.
And that's why we call him Robo Reese. Now CJ and the pickpocket get split. AJ comes in, puts a body on number 2 there. That's Preston. AJ puts a body on him to make up for the slide there, and away we go.
Tony. I love that, Tony.
And then he promptly throws it the other way. Now he's going to try and corral it. He gives a Paul Bunyan there, and number 17, and AJ is a little bit gassed here.
Yeah, I think AJ forgot how tall number 17 is there, and trying to get that ball over his head, just not enough.
Yeah.
And AJ, I think, needs some reinforcements out there. Hopefully we'll get a turnover and let him get a breath.
So Peanut with suffocating defense, and that's 14, right? So that's Coulter, Max Coulter, just being suffocated by Peanut and Reese. There's a big rip, and your boy Gavin Harrison just gobbles it up.
I love to see it, Tony. I don't want to be partial. I'm his dad, but gosh, I just love to see
He
this.
looks great.
It's just awesome.
You can be proud.
It's a very nerve-wracking thing to be a goalie. Maybe more nerve-wracking to be a goalie dad, a goalie mom. I'm just so freaking happy for him.
Well, that is fantastic. So 6:17 to go. A timeout by whom? Oceanside.
Oceanside, yeah. So 8-goal lead here.
And I think you're seeing the Oceanside boys leave it all out there. They got to keep the pedal down for 6 more minutes.
I was just going to say, Tony, all gas, no brake.
And again, because we don't do well in a conservative style.
No, this team, I think maybe games 1, 2, maybe 3, we were looking for identity a little bit. This team has its identity now, and I think its identity is best displayed when it's playing full steam. We want to see them keep doing that. Just an amazing transformation in this Oceanside team, coming out here tonight and playing really strong against a very highly ranked national team, a strong team out of Florida, who comes into this game, I believe, 2 losses on the season?
2 losses on the season. Like I said, they had a max prep ranking the other day. I guess that goes weekly, right? So coming into this 17 nationally. Very, very strong. I mean, this is a statement by these Oceanside Land Sharks. This is a maturity. And I say it every game. What are they doing, Coach? Fulfill the prophecy.
Fulfill the prophecy.
This 25 team has to fulfill the prophecy.
We're going to make an after-season video that's going to be called "Fulfill the Prophecy."
Well, I think it's apropos. I mean, these kids were tagged when they came together in 5th grade with the Loggerheads program, the rec programs here. This group of 25 somewhere we lost Bear Hankins, and I'm sure Jamie's watching, and I just don't understand why we can never get him straightened out. But, it would only be better if Bear were here.
I agree.
And the Hankins family, because that's lacrosse gold, and we love them. but somehow he ended up at Beckham, and he got 3 rings to show for it, so I guess it's okay.
Well, I think what's important.
Oh!
I guess we can't talk anymore because we're just going to score. That's MJ.
MJ Magic Zanone.
I believe that's his hat trick, if I'm not mistaken.
So we got that as the Magic 3. So a hat trick for MJ Magic Zanone.
And he's just racking up over that 50-goal total now.
If it's Magic Zanone.
And Carter Gregory, number 55, we know him as a scorer. We love that drifting shot he takes. But he's also a setup man, and just checked in with his 100th career assist. We want to say congrats to Carter Gregory. There's nothing more important than being a setup guy and being a goal scorer. Love to see him getting the ball around. He's getting some props over on the sideline. Good for him.
Congratulations to Carter Gregory. I agree with everything he said. I got nothing to add there. Here is Cole Bradford, and he is just –
Cole was getting mauled.
He's feeling it, and he powers through, and somehow Logan Finley comes out.
Great ground ball by
And next
Logan.
thing you know, Silas has got to watch the ward over there. He's got that – no, that's Brody Hollingsworth. The bro-man's got to watch the ward. He's got that wing hanging out. Oh, dear God. Brody's on the ground. Get up, Brody. He seems to be okay. And we get the goal.
And that's Magic. MJ Zanone.
So
4 on the night.
A collective gasp from the Hollingsworth family, as that's probably the first real hit.
Yeah, poor Brody found himself between a rock and a hard place over there, kind of dancing that sideline with 2 guys whacking on him. He looks all right out there.
I can't tell if he's walking gingerly or that's just the bro man strut.
Yeah, it might be the strut.
That's the bro man strut?
We'll assume that's the strut. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's the bro man strut. So I was about to make another joke about Magic Zanone. Who scored the goal?
That was MJ.
MJ, okay.
That's his 4th.
So that was his 4th, but when he got his hat trick, now my timing's all off. You see how this goes? So I was going to say, when Magic scores a hat trick, is it my hat trick?
Oh, boy. We got to call our trademark attorney again.
Is it a hat trick?
He's making overtime tonight.
Yeah.
I'm a hat trick.
All right,
here we go.
Ball's being pushed downfield. Cox has it in front. Tic-tac-toe, broken up by Silas Gillum. Finley in the game.
Probably one too many passes there. It looked like number 2 was wide open.
Proud Papa Finley behind me. He's filming. He's got his boy out there, looking good.
This is going to be a turnover on the Dogs going Oceanside's way. 5 minutes, 5 seconds left.
I see that the Bolles faithful is kind of dissipated. Not sure where they went. I mean, they didn't just go back to Florida. AJ comes drilling in. He's at full stride. Seems like he's okay now. Outruns number 20.
Guess those cramps are gone.
I guess so. He gets a toe in the box, and I don't think he had more than a toe in it. Now he's going to split the defense. He's going to push it out front. He gets it out to Ian Long. Ian Long over to Rosebach. Rosebach up to
Finn
Wagner.
And there's Rosebach. That's why he's got that high shooting percentage. He looks open to us, but he said, you know what? I'm going to move this ball along, get it to somebody with a better look.
AJ's going to truck back. I think we used up AJ. I don't think there's much left of him. I can just tell my boy. And who gets it?
Finn Wagner.
Finn Wagner.
Point blank.
Finn Wagner. 19-8, and we are on the doorstep of a Twinski.
Love to see that for Finn. Getting in there, getting into play, being in the right spot. Finn's one of those guys that tends to get those more greasy goals down in. Good job on him, staying strong in front of that goalie, making it. I think we may have had a goalie change in there, it looks like. I see a 3 on that jersey. 33, no. I think.
Yes, that is definitely 33 is Almond. Johnny Almond.
Johnny Almond.
Which is a cool name.
Sounds like he should be playing guitar at a bar somewhere,
right? That's exactly right. Johnny Almond tonight, one night only. All right, there's Magic Zanone. He wheels around. It is 19-8, all Oceanside in the second half here. And our boys are here to make a statement. They can beat a team like this. They can beat them handily.
Tony, I'm not sure this Bolles team quite knows what hit them.
I don't think they did.
And again, I just think this Oceanside team, every game they come out, one game to the next, it's just more and more coming together.
Caden Costa takes a beating. He put the shoulder down first. And that is Preston Hager puts it on him. And now you've got Finn Wagner doing the dirty.
He was getting molested by the Dogs there.
Here's the goaltender. He's out, and this goaltender's athletic. He wants to run. and he is going downtown. MJ says that's a trip. They're going to call MJ. It's okay. You did it, son. And the goaltender, in comes C.J. Johnson to break up the goal.
I guess
that would be a goal.
I guess
if he managed to do it.
I guess he figured when you're down by 11 goals, why not run the field, try and get a goal tally on your scorecard?
Wow.
I'll tell you what, he had the wheels. My gosh, he came out of there like a bullet.
So the man-down Fortress defense comes on, the special teams.
You got 3 minutes, 16 seconds left in this fourth quarter.
Referee comes over to pick up the laundry. They're going to whistle it in. 3:16 to go. All Oceanside Land Sharks today.
So much for that break for AJ, Tone.
AJ is, I think he's going to sleep well tonight, Coach.
You better buy him a nice dinner somewhere.
We're going to Migliori's. We're going to go
there
see Don Migliori when this is over. And we're going to go see Don Migliori, and we're going to get him a pizza or a plate of pasta or some chicken or something, whatever he wants.
A little bit of a careless pass there on this Dogs team and turnover for Oceanside.
I think the frustration's mounted on this Dogs team here.
Yeah.
I think they're ready to go to Florida. What a great program, but tonight just wasn't their night. This is all Oceanside. AJ does a little lobber over Cox there, and now they're laughing about it.
Aaron pass there going to MJ. It's going to be a turnover the other way.
AJ just kind of shrugged his shoulders in disgust there. He's like, oh, no. He says if it was offense, he could get off the field. He is looking.
No such luck. I think he's saying, hey, Coach.
So Peanut, who never gets tired, is just going to power down the field, and he is just content. I don't know what that guy's doing with that arm out there. I'm pretty sure that's a ward or something. There's a call for that. He's going to go out of bounds. Good job, Peanut Seaton runs him out of real estate. 24 just had nowhere to go. Caldwell.
I think we're just out of things to say about Peanut at this point.
Well, we can keep saying it. We just keep saying the same thing over and over again. There's AJ.
The kid is a defensive machine.
Peanut's got his hands on his hips. I mean, there's fatigue set in. This Oceanside team gave this game everything they had. It meant the world to them. It was a statement game. It was a mission game. Finn Wagner takes the feed from AJ, and there's going to be a little bit of settling. Rosebach comes back in the game, takes it from Wagner. AJ is moving at a glacial pace to get off the field.
I think Peanut goes home and eats like raw deer meat after games
He might.
or something. You know, just like,
He might. I think we're going to see. And look, your boy's been down there, and you know, he hasn't had 1,000 shots on him, but I'll tell you what, he has been the wall. 8 goals against this team. Pretty good.
Yeah, and I think he's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 saves. Looks like 12 on my wife's sheet. I thought he had 1 or 2 others, but we'll say 12.
Rosebach, Costa!
Oh.
Costa was feeling it. He should have gone to the other side of the net there.
Well, I'll tell you, though, Costa shooting to the offside of the stick. I like that. You don't want to shoot to the stick side, and he just kind of missed that post.
Here comes the outlet. Finn Wagner. Just getting in the way there, throws himself at it, manages to.
Great check.
Won't call it the can opener, but it was at least a pop top. 21 is under heavy fire. Gaston Friedline. He's in the trenches taking grenades. 25, Xander Edwards. Now we got some new names in the game. There's going to be a penalty, and I can tell you there's going to be some guys on the Fortress defense that are going to be very unhappy with this penalty because they thought they were nearing the end here. 53 seconds left. There is no rest for the weary, although some of them get called back to the bench here.
Yeah, I think AJ is going to get his rest here.
So Tom Harris, Coach Harris, and Coach Reich saying you're good, 33. Take a seat somewhere.
We'll let Silas take a run here.
You know, no harm, no foul.
Counting down 48 seconds left here in the game.
19-8 Oceanside Land Sharks in a rout over the Bolles Bulldogs. I got a text today from Jack Kelly. Revenge game. That's all he said.
Did he start it, A-Bud?
Hey, bud. No, he doesn't text A-Bud. He only says it.
That's just implied, right?
When his fingers were typing it, I guarantee you there was A-Bud before it, but all he typed was revenge game. So, Jack, if you're listening, you know, We wish you the best. We miss you out here.
Well, and Jack is still a big part of these boys. I mean, he gave us some good years here at Oceanside.
It's part of the prophecy.
Yes, definitely. And that's going to be the game, Tony.
Zeros on the clock, 19-8, Oceanside Land Sharks, and they are rushing G. The celebration is on. The Oceanside faithful come to their feet. Everybody's clapping. It is high times, all high fives. Broman Brody Hollingsworth makes his return in the rout of the number 17 team in the land, Coach.
Well, Tony, I feel like we've used the word many times. By far the most complete game this Oceanside team has played all season. I'm praying that we get to continue to say that each game, but never, and I hate using that bingo card reference because it's so played out, but this score was not on anybody's card. Maybe in some of these guys' heads, because that's how they prepare, that's how they think. But I don't think any of us realistically thought we'd be talking about a 19-8 final tonight.
I couldn't be prouder. I mean, these boys, it's a shame it's a Wednesday night. There's only and they got to play on Friday. We've got Christchurch coming in here. Now, Christchurch having a little bit of a down year here. But, once again, that rivalry game, right? We've had a lot of battles with Christchurch over the years.
We certainly have. Christchurch went into AC Flora last night, beat them 10-8. Not quite sure what the tone of that game was. Just saw the final on Max Preps. So, we had an earlier dance this year with Flora and handled them. So we'll see what things happen on Friday night. But you got to think this Oceanside team riding high off this win is just going to compound into Friday night's game.
All right. Well, look, that's going to about wrap it up. Thank you for that analysis, Coach. It's going to wrap it up here from the Reef. Thank you to the administration, Christina Brown, Mark Meyer, Brooks Barano, Assistant AD, Katie Niemeyer, Savannah Metz, the training staff from Roper, Josiah and Lily for the camera. Everybody's going to be running. There was plenty of fodder for Josiah here tonight. I'm sure that the Instagram feed is going to be on fire. We are back here live at 5 o'clock on Friday against the Christchurch, and in a rivalry game. Again, it should be on paper. It's a lopsided matchup. In everybody's emotions, it's a rivalry game. Couldn't be more excited. Let's go hug our boys and let's sign off this thing. Coach, thanks so much. Have a great night.